welcome back, everyone, to A Journey to Ragnarok, Campaign of Mythical Proportions. Our poem teller is not with us here today for this session, so instead, please accept this, not poem, but I think decent introduction still. The Thief of Runic Power defeated. Party removed to realm of frost and cold, now given task to traverse the land of the dead for famed crafter, but it is not without peril. Cryptic friend met in combat against forces of hell as they are welcomed through its gates and into Helheimr prop. Now, last we left, something weird happened. If you'll remember, there was a king who suddenly joined the fight, King Asbjorn the Red. But to allow them to have this moment, and allow you as the party to have this moment, since Astrid's player is not here, rather we will just say Astrid and the party have a very much needed conversation. And come next session, we'll just simply flash back to that moment, and it can happen and no one misses anything. But for now, I'll move us to lovely Helheim. You all stand at the entrance to Helheim, at the edge of the bridge, getting ready to be let through. You may all look clumped together. That's because I clumped you all together so I could copy and paste you all. You know, all battered and bruised. Look at
Smart.
you all.
Very smart.
What would you
All
like
right.
to do?
Oh! Ow!
You sound like you've been hurt as bad as me, Ezekiel. Are you okay?
I'll look over at your face and see Tobias's face, a veritable hamburger. No, I'm not as hurt as you are, I think. You went down a couple times. I'm just, this whole knee popped out a couple times. Not good.
Oh, I see. All right.
I would heal you if I could, but I cannot. So you just got to deal.
I am grateful that you healed me at all during that battle. I would be dead if it were not for you. How's
Yeah, well,
everyone else?
I didn't do your nose any favors.
Well, it'll heal in time.
Yeah.
How's everyone else? Someone dropped out.
They're not okay.
Oh no!
I'm fine.
Oh god, Kavak is phasing through the floor of hell.
What the hell is that?
Gudrun, Gwen, are you two all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Scanning around, Astrid would look around. Is it Tobias that looks the worst?
This is going to be an interesting thing. Because, no, it is very much Gudrun.
It's Gudrun? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Gudrun's just face down in the snow. Just.
Gudrun is putting on a brave face while also being excessively beat up.
I hope she's sleeping.
Are you standing or are you like laying down on the ground, like taking a breather? Gudrun.
Standing, or at least sitting, at least up and looking around.
Oh gosh, she thinks she's standing.
She thinks she's standing, but she's not. I think Astrid would walk over towards Tobias, and as she's passing Gudrun, she'd give her kind of a little boot with her foot and cast a second level Cure Wounds on Gudrun.
I told you I'm fine. I'm fine.
So that's
It's much
14.
more fine. It's much more fine with 14 points of.
Now you're definitely much more fine.
Yeah.
And then she would put her hands on, put a hand on Tobias's shoulder and tell him, "Thank you and well done," and cast a level 2 Cure Wounds on him as well for 15.
Thank you, Astrid. All right, that said, shall we move forward?
The gate is opened. It doesn't look it on the map, but the gate is opened, and the giantess is arms out, allowing you to enter Helheim.
So Miss
yeah.
Giant, yes.
She's still mute.
Well, that was quite. Should we wait for her to be unmute? How much longer did she got? How much longer did she got in the whole mute thing?
Probably less than 45 seconds.
All right, Pocket, get out! Stop herring her. We're fine. Combat's over. Combat's over. It's fine.
Peck.
just useless pecks at this point.
Gudrun and Kavak, can both of you give me perception checks?
Sure, can.
Gudrun,
total with my
being at
5.
the far back of the group, you notice with the gate open, all of those dead behind you, they're getting restless. And there is a horde of them moving towards you. So if you don't want to be overran, you might want to move.
All right, I'm gonna move on, and like starts hobbling with her stick, and then like as she catches up, is like, "Come on, go on, let's move, let's get through."
You just old lady get everybody through the door with like your with your club. You're like, go get smack on the buttons. Like go.
Yep, that's what I'm going for.
You just hear Astrid. Hey, watch it! And Gwen's just like, just leave the old lady be, and just pulls Astrid along.
Oh, I send Pocket first. We will go. I will go through the gate at least.
As
Yep,
you all,
Gwen and Astrid will follow behind.
as you all walk through the gate, you just hear a loud slam as the final member walks through, as the gate slams shut, as you are now in a cold, swamp-like, dead territory. Welcome to Hell proper.
Well, in case it isn't obvious, newcomers, this door won't open to go the other way. This is only way but forward.
It's supposed to be hot.
No.
There are many facets of hell. Hot, spiky, ones that will dissolve your face, and perhaps other things as well.
It just feels wet.
It's one of the more
That
pleasant
part.
ones.
Not really sure. Not really sure what all this moisture is going to do to my skin.
What, you don't moisturize?
Well, isn't it obvious?
I mean, I would have said that you did. So why would this moisture affect your skin if you already moisturize?
Well, okay, you see, it's kind of a science. You see, if you already moisturize your face, your face gets used to, your skin gets used to a certain level of moisture, and if you add too much more moisture, it just starts to all clog it all up, you know?
So if you do
You
use
need
some
a better
infernal
moisture.
moss, that'll help.
Roll
Infernal Moss?
a con save to avoid being pruned.
Oh,
Oh no! Kavak, could you tell us more about the immediate area? You did not prune.
I'm good.
Oh geez.
Sure.
Yeah, Kavak, could you tell us more about the immediate area?
Well, paths will be difficult to navigate, and supplies will be tough to procure, but so long as we are aware of when we're watched and try to avoid being watched, then I think you'll be able to make good progress. This is not the most dangerous of what we'll experience.
Would you say we're in the least dangerous as of right now? because if I'm thinking correctly, we probably want a little bit of a rest time. You know, at least a mini one, just a little bitty.
What, are you tired, old man?
I'm not, but Pocky is.
Gotta take care of your pets.
Oh, he usually takes care of himself. He got real fritzed up in that last combat there. You know, got real frazzled. Right, Pocky? And Pocky's just like eating like picking up a rock, just trying to eat a rock. No, stop! Don't do that. Stop it.
Kavak, could you roll me a history just real quick before you get into what you were wanting to say?
Sure. What do I know? Do I know things? Please know things.
No things.
Ooh, I know some things. That's an 18 on knowing things.
An 18. Okay, well, I can give you some stuff before you say what you say, which is fun.
Great.
First thing being, should the party want to rest, outside of the gates to hell probably isn't the best place, nor is most of all of Helheim. But with an 18, you know of one spot that might just not be safe. Oh, it won't be safe. But it would be technically safer than most.
Less perilous.
You know that there is a lone hermit who has made a spot for himself in a small hut in Helheim. You're unsure how long they've been here. You are unsure how friendly they are. But outside of...
I'll pass that on, and I'll say his abode is a bit to find, and it's not pleasant per se, but...
And outside of Hell's Palace itself, likely the only 4 walls and a possible bed you're gonna get here.
Meets the technical definition of shelter, barely.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll give the party the information and see if I can help us track that way or whatnot.
Very well. I think Tobias would call upon what's a good one for this one? Freya, probably? Wilderness tracking? Well, we could ask for Hell's help, but yeah, you know what? I'll do that. I'm wondering if something's going to happen. May Hell at least give us this moment's rest before addressing us in person, possibly. And I'll give you guidance on whatever check you're going to make.
Okay. So if you're wanting to begin going to this hut, if you want to begin finding your way there, is that the party plan?
Yeah, I'd agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then, Kavak, if you could give me a survival, please.
See what we can do. +5, baby.
That was a 1d100.
Oh, that's a D100. That's the wrong dice.
You do
That-
not get
that
a
does not-
72.
Aw, dang it.
72 is such a good roll.
Well, hey, that's not bad. So 18, 5, so 23 total, if I math that right.
Alright, 23 total, and then roll me one more survival.
Oh. 2. So, got a 19.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a 20, 22.
So, the first survival is for you to circumnavigate and get around the very loud and angry snarling and growling sounds as you walk through Helheim. The second survival is to begin your tracking and actually safely walking through without encountering any of the nasties within Helheim. And this journey is several hours long. You are walking for what feels like at most 3 or 4 hours, but Kavak is able to expertly move you through the swamplands of Helheim and avoid anything that comes up. Every now and then you see odd, if you had to pin it to a creature, odd sort of deformed vultures flying the skies. You see the dead walking, but you are able to avoid them before eventually you come across the outside of a very small and very rundown looking hut with a faint light glowing from inside.
I guess we should go knock on the door.
Oh, after you, my dear.
That's often polite.
My roll 20 is glitching, but yeah, I'm just gonna go and knock on the door.
I'm in darkness, but I know I have vision because I can see a splinter of a line of sight.
Yeah, I've got the same layout as Zero does.
Oh, hey, same.
Didn't one of you have light cast on you? I thought I saved that.
Yeah, it's on Tobias's shield.
Why was that not carried over?
And I think Gudrun had light on her staff, too. Right?
I thought I did, but you know.
Okay, let there be light.
Excellent.
Huzzah!
Can people see now?
Ooh. Yep. Is this where the door is?
That is
To knock
the door
on?
is.
Cool. Oop, I opened the door accidentally. I meant to just...
And it's a
Ping.
hearty knock.
Yeah, I'm just gonna knock.
Well, fortunately, very, very funny that you did that anyways, and you said that. As you knock, like every good horror movie, the door slowly creaks open.
Nice. Alright, guys, it's open. Let's go in. Hobbles my way in.
Okay, good. Pocky, you go join her. So I'll send Pocky to like to chill on her shoulder.
Inside, you see a mess of dirt, scattered objects, destroyed cobwebs, and a single lone fire that is currently lit and ignited.
Can I look around for anybody who might be somehow hiding in the debris?
In the debris? Sure.
In the debris.
Give me a perception. Oh, you did an investigation. And then a perception. Astrid,
Oh, I
do a
I
perception.
didn't mean to do investigation. I meant to perception, and stuff happened.
Perception, you do not see anyone hiding in the debris. And Asteroid 14 can vaguely see objects of stuff moving in the various swamp waters around the hut.
Try and secure the door from the inside while they're looking around the inside of the hut.
Well, what we got?
Sure, is everyone
Just
moving
casually
inside?
bar the door, you know.
Yeah, Astrid and Gwen will move inside.
Same.
Astrid is stuck in the wall.
Astrid
Please help.
is out of the wall.
Thank you. Whoop.
Sure. Kavak, give me... Oh, you don't have to give me anything. You get inside, you close the door, and you can find a piece of that debris and put it against the door. But Kavak, could you give me a perception, please?
Sure. How perceptive can I be? Do D20. Oh, great. That's an 8 total.
Okay.
Too busy looking at the door. Is it secure? You know, is it airtight? Is there a draft? I don't want a draft coming in. I'm going to make sure that maybe a little bit of, of debris I can shove under the crack to make sure it doesn't get cold, but I'm totally not paying attention to anything besides the door.
Yep. So what's everyone doing? You hear Kavak bring in a piece of debris over to the door, making sure it's nice and safe for you all inside. This place does not look like in a good state.
Can I look around and see if there's any other points of entry or a sign of struggle or anything like that?
Sure, you can roll me an investigation.
Investigation. Hold on. I think I got some. Something here that helps me with that. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. As soon as I can see. Okay. Yeah, I think I have eyes of minute seeing. So I reach in and take out a monocle, and it's one of those monocles with a little nose piece on it, so I can just put it on my nose. And as you notice, I'm like just like inches away from the floor and the wall, just kind of looking around with a little spotlight. I believe it gives me advantage on investigation checks. Let's see.
Did you just Sherlock Holmes yourself? That's amazing.
I might have. I'm more of a Watson fan myself. Yeah. Within 1 foot. If anything is within range of a foot, I get advantage on the investigation check. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. $12. Shit.
12. There don't seem to be any points of entry other than the front door. Even with a 12, I will give this to you because it's kind of there on the map. There are most definitely bones and bloodstains in this place.
Wonderful. Good. Well, I have deduced that there is blood and bones here, so therefore, something bad happened.
Tobias draws his shield and weapon. Don't wander anywhere on your own.
How far is there to wander? This is just like a one-room house.
It looks like a little hovel of sorts.
I may be getting paranoid with repeated bludgeonings and blood loss, but if perhaps one of us were to be snatched into the shadows, it would be comforting to know that someone can immediately reach out and attempt to grab us.
Well, maybe we can clear a safe spot here, and we can take some watch as we rest. You know, we could take a breather, so to speak. Ideally, we can get a good old night's rest in, but maybe we can just make it a little short tiff.
I thought a tiff was like a fight.
A tiff has many meanings. Okay, good.
Well, whoever was here before has some runic knowledge, and Gwen will point out the runes around the fire pit and say it's simple, but it's effective. It's keeping the fire going. I can't tell how long they've been here, but they're still doing their job. If we want to rest here, I do have the ability to put up a tent of sorts, if you will, that can keep a lot of people out. We may surprise the owner of this place, but he won't be able to outright attack us.
That might be quite helpful.
Yeah, good thinking.
And with that, Gwen will start ritual casting Tiny Hut.
Okay.
She will do it here.
As you begin doing that, and you're taking the time to do it, you all hear a voice. And a voice that actually seems to be coming to you, Gwyn. Like it's talking to everyone, but it seems directed at you. You hear a voice saying, "Come, my honored guests. No one visits these places. Feel safe while in my home." And from the darkness of the entryway, everyone missed him hiding there. You see a figure in very tattered robes kind of hunched over a little bit, looking very scrawny and thin, and most notably with a wrapping around both of his eyes, is this figure.
Oh, shit!
Everybody jumps. Ah!
You could have said something when I looked over you.
And he is simply walking and taking a seat on some of the debris by the fire.
I was like 6 inches away from you.
Can I tell what race this guy is?
Give me an investigation. Yeah.
Do I remember his name from the history check?
You know that he is simply called the Hermit. You don't know if there was a name behind it, and if there was, no one knows it.
I'm just gonna go and sit beside him on some debris. Just join him at the fire.
With a 26 Gwyn, you can tell that he was most likely Midgardian. He's not an Einar Jarl. He does not look Dwarvish, most likely a Midgardian of you and your kin.
Oh, interesting.
Yep, he's mid as hell.
Mid as hell.
Honored host, we are apologetic for intruding. We just seek shelter for the single night. Your willingness to open your doors to strangers is not forgotten. May I offer you some food in exchange for your hospitality?
You mustn't worry yourself about food, my honored guest. I'm quite fed. And he kind of holds his arm out a little bit, and rather than pointing to one specific spot, he kind of just holds his arm out to make a gesture of the blood stains on the floor.
The hermit is also an avid hunter, it seems.
May I share some may I show some gratitude of your hospitality by tidying up a little bit for you?
If you so wish, but I would also accept joining me around with this fire and telling me your story of being in Helheim.
Man, we don't have Astrid here. God damn it. The storyteller.
Well, I mean, you're looking for a story.
The cat's got Astrid's tongue right now. She's actually the one who got the mute spell on her.
Exactly. Yeah. So with that, we'll run with that for a second. With that, Gwen will start to kind of clean up using prestidigitation, and Astrid will kind of like start meandering things into different areas to make it so the blind gentleman won't trip when he's walking around.
Well, I feel like that might be a bit misguided. You know, if he's blind, but he's been here his whole time, you think he might know where all the stuff is, but then when you move it, you know, he'll expect it, and then he won't it won't be there, and then he will trip over himself.
Ah, that's true. Astrid starts putting stuff back where she meandered it away.
I, of course, no, because I understand blind people.
Well, I suppose telling your story couldn't hurt. From the way he spoke, could I tell if there was like any ulterior motive?
Give me an insight.
Okay.
And Kavak, can you give me a perception? I would say with your insight.
Yes, I can. Once I'm no longer muted, I can definitely do perception.
That would likely help, right?
A little bit. That's not bad. That's a 14.
Okay, your 14 gets you a whisper in Discord.
Ooh, okay. Oh, I suppose I should mute for the whisper.
Well, I'm gonna send a message. Yes, ha 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 ha. One moment.
Yeah.
Hold on. Gosh, why do I have to Google this? I should know this off the top of my head. Okay.
We can presume we're recounting our story to the hermit.
Yes. Okay. There is your message in Discord.
Okay.
Do with that what you will. 25 insight into the hermit. He's very interested in learning your tale. There is likely something else to him wanting to know who you are and why you're here. But just from his vibes he's giving off right now and in his words, it doesn't seem sinister. But there is definitely a hint of, like, you tell me, and then I ask you, type of thing.
Okay. All right. Let's see. How much of this do I actually want to RP?
Man, I could tell the story of when me and a crack team of specialists hunted down a giant queen hill giant.
Well, I suppose you could start first if you'd like.
Yeah, of course. So me and a team of specialists hunted down a giant queen hill giant named Guh. She was a large queen hill giant, and she was just taking all the food in the nearby area a long time ago. All the food in the nearby area under a misguided attempt to become the queen of all giants. This is over a big old tiff. Use the right way there. A bit of a tiff between all the giant kin because one of them decided to fuck off for whatever reason. Just disappeared.
In the middle of talking, the hermit waves his hand towards you and says, and this is kind of, I'm going to give this to everyone for free, despite it maybe being fun for later down the line if someone called me out on it, but I'm just going to give it out to you for free. You do notice in his words, the blind hermit fully calls out Ezekiel as a dwarf. And he says,
Yes, enough of you, dwarf. But the rest of you, Helheim, you are beyond its gates. That I want to know.
Well, I suppose we could tell you where we're from. We're from, are you familiar with Midgard and Hailhofen?
My memory, since being removed to Helheim, isn't what it used to be. But I know Midgard. I know it well.
Oh, that is where myself, Gwen, Astrid, Gudrun, maybe. That's where the four of us are from. We had just recently concluded a mighty battle with an individual seeking to steal runes, which would wipe out the influence of the gods. And someone correct me if that's incorrect, but that I think that's a small but still correct synopsis. And once the festivities were over, we awoke in Helheimr, outside of a short distance away from what's the blacksmith's name again?
Eitri/Sindri.
Eitri. Sidri. Okay.
Yeah, oh, Sid.
Yeah, and that's coincidentally where Ezekiel comes in as well. We were given a task to come to Hell, and we have reason to believe that we should. So we simply walked.
Well then, with your hearts beating as loud as they are, it is quite a unique time in Helheim for living Midgardians to enter its gates. Perhaps you are the ones who could finally help me.
What are you needing help with?
I do not belong here. I was cast into Helheim unjustly. I seek the other side of its gates. And if you all are living, perhaps you can do this. Perhaps you can get a blind man beyond its gates and back to his rightful home.
And what would you have us do?
I have been here for a while, thinking of ways to get beyond its gates. But it is not so simple as tricking the gatekeeper. You have to trick Helheim itself. I do not have a beating heart. I cannot do that. You all have them. You can help.
Oh my gosh. Can I roll a history check to know if somebody who is dead can, in fact, leave Helheim?
Sure.
Total of 20.
Total of 20. Okay. It is... If it's possible, it is highly difficult. Because you would be removing one of the dead from the realm of the dead. The realm of the dead isn't happy when its Draugr breach its gates. You fought Shades before. You fought Draugr. Those Draugr came from somewhere. So you know it's possible. Whether those Draugr were sent by someone, whether they were just simply dead who never made it past either of the gates, or they were pissed off people with a grudge who managed to get out of Helheim, you're not sure. You know it's difficult. And that's basically what you get. The 20 basically tells you, yes, it's possible because you faced off against these undead before. They were on Midgard for a reason, or they got to Midgard somehow.
Interesting. All right. Well, Enlighten us a little bit more. How exactly does one trick Helheim?
I am unsure, but I know the blood moving through your veins and your beating hearts can assist. You do not belong here. You are the living in the land of the dead. Some way that can be useful.
Curious. Well, as long as all of us here can stay intact, I believe any proposal for assistance is considerable. We don't know what action to take, but we will listen.
Good. Good. Before we talk, some of you have fainter beats than others. Why don't you all join me around the fire?
Surely he's not talking about me. Heart works like a heart's like a horse.
Yep. Gwen and Astrid will join.
Kavak, won't you join us?
Absolutely. I'd been staring out the window a little bit, but having watched whatever was happening, we'll come join by the fire and partake in repast and share good berries for anyone who wants them.
So if anyone eats those good berries, you do get 1 health point back.
Oh, good. I'll take one gooberry.
I was gonna say, sign me up for 1 health point.
Right.
Yeah, Astrid will take a health point as well.
Excellent.
Gwen just passes hers to Astrid instead of taking one, so Astrid takes it from Gwen because Gwen doesn't need it.
Someone should homebrew a good berry spell to be just Rice Krispies.
No, I think that's
It's just Rice Krispie treats.
I think that's just reflavoring it. Literally.
Yeah.
A reflavoring of a spell.
Ba-dum-tsh.
The hermit holding out his hands, which you can see are very decrepit. You can see the bone through the skin. Holds out his hands to the fire and says,
You all are an interesting group to find yourself at my door. I feel righteousness within some of you, but sadness within others. Why the conflict? What are your stories?
he says in a very quizzical tone, not pointing out to anyone, but more so just addressing the whole group.
Gwen lets out a little sigh and says, in the conflicts in Midgard, my own family turned against the belief of the gods. And in their blind state, I lost the brother closest to me in age. And unfortunately, due to his rage, his life was taken by my hands.
The hermit listens very intently and says,
Perhaps that power was not all too blind. Perhaps he sought happiness within that power. Perhaps the power that you say controlled his rage. brought meaning to life. While you may see it as traitorous actions to the family, perhaps they saw it as a meaning of life itself. Power does strange things to people.
When I met my brothers, my other brothers, they had not taken the steps forward that the brother who I had taken his life had. It gave me hope that they weren't too far gone to see that they were being led down the wrong path. I feel like one of them recognizes that I'm standing for what I believe is the truth, while the other is acting upon his instincts to protect those that he has left. I don't fault either one of them for that, but I breathe a sigh of relief knowing that they didn't fall into the circumstances that my brother had.
Perhaps they were foolish for not taking this power, but then again, perhaps not. Power does strange things to those in desperate times. That power could always come back. We live in interesting times. We live in times when the living makes it through the gates of Helheimr, which means anything is possible.
You speak as if you understand the realms of powers. How do you know so much?
I know I was someone powerful at some point in time. I don't know who. My memory, when being sent here, outcast to the swamps of this land, this realm, muddled with my thoughts. But even as I walk these lands, I know somewhere deep within, I had power to myself. So I can understand those temptations, those greedy pulls towards more than you already have.
Does he have any markings on him? Does he have a one's got the tattoo of the icy crows on her chest. Does he have any markings of belonging to one of the tribes?
Give me an investigation.
Sure. Damn it.
You are unable to see if he is wearing a mark. He is wearing very, as I said, tattered clothing. If there was a mark, it might be visible through all the tatters. But the way he's hunched over and maybe sitting, it's kind of hard to tell.
So you've heard our stories. You say your memory is going, but of what you remember, would you be willing to tell us about it?
Well, I have yet to hear everyone's.
And we'll just, assume Astrid speaks at some point. He looks over at Gudrun and says,
I sense an an unknowing within you.
I know lots of things.
Why do you join this group? Who are you?
These are questions I've been asking myself like every day for the last little while. They just sort of came upon me one day and seemed better than just wandering the woods aimlessly. At least like we got a name now. I think I have a name. Do we have a name? An aim, not a name.
She's asking you, what's my name? Who am I?
He's just running around like, I don't know what my name is anymore.
Oh, it's happening again.
As you're kind of saying that, asking that to the party, the hermit, you notice, kind of begins holding his arm out and hand to kind of touch your face. He's reaching over to touch your face.
A little creepy, but I'm sitting like right beside him, so not hard for him to do, and I'm not really gonna stop him.
He's touching your face. He's feeling over your nose, feeling over your cheeks, rolling over your eyebrow and everything. It is very not nice, as you can feel the skeleton underneath, straight up. He is rattling them bones. And I would like... Okay, this is... Well, no. I would like... Let's see, who's directly facing? Tobias, Kavak, Astrid can roll as well, and Gwyn can all roll an insight. Okay, Tobias, don't see Jack.
Not today.
That makes it a 19 for me.
Okay, so a 19 from Kavak and a 19 from Astrid. As the two of you are looking at this display, and he's running his bony fingers across Gudrun's face. Obviously, you can't see his eyes. He has none. But in his facial expressions and everything else, like the way, he's moving his mouth around, the way you can see his ears kind of perk up, there is a look of possible recognition on his face. And as he finishes running his hand over Gudrun's face, he goes back saying,
You don't even know what your aim is. You are quite the mystery.
I think hearing that, Astrid would pipe up. No, I think she'd lean over to Gwen and tell Gwen that the guy seemed to make gestures and expressions that showed that he recognized Gudrun. And with that information, Gwen would ask, you seem to have a lot of insight into people and what they could possibly be going through, or what those that they have encountered may have gone through, such as me with my brothers. Do you get any sense of that from Gudrun?
He takes a moment to adjust himself so he can properly look at you. And other than following voices, you do notice that as he's shuffling on the little piece of debris, he seems to be very honed in, and almost like if there were eyes behind the band over his face, it is almost like he's staring directly at you. Like it is an acute sense of being able to find where people are.
Okay.
And he looks at you and says,
I am not too sure, but I sense power within her. A power that she may not understand. Something that she may not even know is there. You are an interesting one. Something will happen.
Oh, great.
That's
Something will happen. Yeah, we all assumed something was gonna happen. Thanks, Captain Obvious. I feel like nothing is gonna happen.
There is a fate you have yet to succumb to. Perhaps this attitude will keep you from it. Perhaps not. Perhaps power will lead you astray like this one's brother. But perhaps not.
You went astray if I don't know where I'm going.
and he continues with,
For how can it lead you astray if you do not even know it exists?
Yeah, see? Same page.
Different book. You both are on the same page number of a completely different novel. Jesus.
That's the first time I've ever heard that. That's funny.
I think Gudrun's gonna kind of like look to you guys. I mean, I haven't really been doing a great job of trying to pretend I know more what's going on than I do, but I guess cat's out of the bag now. I got dick all up going on up in here.
Astrid mutters something like, not out of the bag.
I imagine following suit from what Gudrun said, Astrid just whispers, well, yeah, Captain Obvious.
And then gets nudged by Gwen.
Oh, Gudrun, I think you got more.
Obvious.
I think you got more rattling up than you think you do.
As you pipe up, Ezekiel, this figure, now addressing you,
Oh, good.
says,
Now you dwarf.
Hmm.
What
You say you put a little spice on that dwarf. Not sure how I feel about that. Sorry, proceed.
Well, your kind of belong to stories of legends. You say that a famed crafter put you in charge with this party. But why do you seem so keen on entering the gates of Helheim?
Well, I like to adventure. I'm hitting the second wind, so to speak, or maybe a third or fourth, if you consider the age I'm in.
Yes.
I think I got one more trek left in me. One more bit of knowledge. I think I can fill in the missing puzzle pieces up there I got up here in the noggin. I don't think I'll ever get the full picture, but I think I can make out the borders if I really give it a good old shot.
Yes. I do think you still have quite the story to tell. I think those around you will remember you for ages to come.
Oh, well, that's a tall order, but I do appreciate the vote of confidence.
and then his eyes shift towards the Einar Yar of the group. And he looks at you, Kavak, and says,
You are one of Odin's. I know you quite well. I've heard of a warrior walking this realm of the dead. It is interesting to see you amongst a group of the living. And
They are an interesting group.
within my own hut to be at that.
They have fortitude and perhaps other qualities that will let them prove themselves to the Allfather. But For now, they've certainly earned the watch and the presence of those like us who can stay in between.
Yes. I hope you will not be opposed to my wanting to leave Helheim. If so, we might have problems.
I mean, for the record, we also want to leave Helheim, which is, dubious at best. So I feel like we can't really judge, can we?
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be surprising if someone did not want to leave Helheim. Absolutely.
Surely Odin would not be at problem for welcoming another into his halls. Rightfully into his halls.
You, amongst many, have earned them for sure. Your distinction is significant, though the renown has not yet followed it, sadly.
Yes, it is good to hear you say.
And then he shifts to his side towards you, Tobias, and says,
You have a sadness within you, one that I can relate. Perhaps we shall talk later, just the two of us. I don't need to hear your story now. That can be saved for when prying ears are not privy.
If that's what you wish, we can have a private chat later then.
Now, all of you, time is but an interesting thing in Helheim. So rest while you can. No one enters my home. They do not seek audience with me. You should be fine. After all, you have a warrior of Odin at your side.
You honor us with your hospitality and kindness, and think on the morrow if there are parts of your story that we can take beyond us. Surely we will work to take you with us if we can leave, but regardless, if we can spread of your tale so others know and grant you place in another realm, we can do that. We have a storyteller amongst us of great renown.
This we must talk about at another time, warrior of Odin. There is much to talk.
and he just simply puts his hands back, resting over the fire. What would any of you like to do?
Oh, okay. Well, if we're all chilling here, we're all doing a little rest. I'm gonna take on my little soup pot and start making a soup.
Yeah, I mean, if we've basically established that we're good to take a rest, I feel like Gudrun just passes out without much ceremony.
I will save you a soup for later.
Thanks.
I uncork my flask and I pour broth out of my flask into the soup bowl.
All right, roll me a survival.
All right.
So Ezekiel's making soup. Gudrun is fast asleep. Immediately just snores. How about Gwyn? I know Astrid's not here, but what would Astrid like to do? Kavak and then Tobias.
I think Gwen would pitch the idea of everybody taking turns to stay awake with their host. And with that, if everybody agrees, except for Gudrun, who's fast asleep, Gwen and Astrid would settle in for rest.
I got one thing I can do to kind of help us a bit. It's gonna take me like 11 minutes or so, but I can ritual cast alarm. I got these little Got these cans. Got these cans and wires. I can make a little alarm thing around the door.
Fantastic idea.
All right. That's
Speaking
what
of
I'm gonna do.
defenses, I'll do a perimeter check as well. I'll just, see if there's any obvious threats nearby that we can warn ourselves with.
Fantastic. Well, I'll take out my fishing line. Like just a big wad of fishing line, and then a bunch of like metal cups and cans and stuff. And I'll just ritual cast, and my ritual casting, quote unquote, is me just like murmuring as I'm just like tacking it up around the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're ritual casting. For everyone who eats the soup is very good.
I know my soup. Save the broth.
Kavak, you can give me a perception for perimeter check as two folks eat, sleep, or get ready to go to sleep. How about Tobias?
I think having gone through all that recently, Tobias is going to sit down, and while he's etching the runes for the next day, he's kind of just whispering. It sounds almost musical, but Tobias is gonna ask for guidance and sight from Heimdall, and Tobias is gonna ask, I feel sightless and blind down here, and the irony is, this blind man seems like he's a guiding light. Kavak aside, we will need as much sight as we can muster, and I can think of very few other than the Watcher to help us with that task. I implore you to watch over me, Heimdall, as I watch over my party.
Okay. After making food and eating, does Ezekiel also lay down for bed after doing the alarm?
Yeah, I think I'll sit up and I'll pull my pants back up to plug up the plumber's crack I got going on. I'll dust my hands off, look around at my nice work, and I will go head over and lay out my sleeping cot, and I'll
Pick a corner.
stuff Pocky. Yep, I'll stick it out in the corner. Find the cleanest one that the dude was not laying in.
Probably.
And I'll just.
Probably this corner.
All right, sweet. I will just huddle up there. All right, Pocky. Good night. And I'll just like get Pocky to lay down. Well, he stands there, and then he's like, good night, Pocky. And then we both like crash out, and Pocky, the way Pocky sleeps, he just hangs his head to the side, just like, yeah, he just hangs his head. He just hangs his head completely over to the side, standing, and that's how Pocky sleeps.
Okay.
My hat's over my eyes, and I'm out.
He just allows a vertebrae to stop existing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you seen some birds, man? They can be liquid.
Yeah, just.
As everyone begins conking out, and Kavak is still doing his perimeter check, you are inscribing your runes, Tobias, and the hermit, still with his hands over the fire, says,
Good. Now the two of us can share our tales together. As I mentioned, I notice a sadness within you. A deep sadness. Something I myself can relate to. I do not want to know of your story entering Helheimr, no. I am much more interested in the story of who you are. I want to know of this sadness. I want to know more of it. Because perhaps I can help you understand it better.
Well, if you're speaking about what I believe you are, Then very well. I will speak to you about my childhood. When I was growing up, I was given to the icy crows from the wolves of shadow. My mother was an icy crow. She was quite powerful, and she was to ascend to be one of 3 pillars of the icy crows. The trials she underwent were terrible, and although she survived them, I found her dead one day. She did not become a pillar, but I did not believe that the shame of failing to ascend to that position was enough to drive her mad, or to drive her to death. And something tears at me, makes me wonder if there was something that I could have done to prevent it.
The icy crows. They seem intelligent and all-knowing, but in reality they're just as brutish as the bears up in the mountains. Your mother, a renowned figure, dead, bleeding, after these trials of the crows. Tell me more. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you really think.
I believe she was slain either through trickery or some sort of coercion, but I know not much past that suspicion, and I was far too young to be able to gather information at the time. Far too warded and protected, sheltered. I can't fathom who could have done this, but
Who could have done it?
It's a doubt that I haven't been able to quell.
Someone very close to you. Closer than you may know. You said you found her. And just her.
That's correct.
Yes. One set of steps. And then a body. I was much like your mother. Walking with one set of steps. Just like she is.
And he sets one of his fingers and points it towards the sleeping Astrid.
What are you saying?
We are but one person. And yet somehow, we've walked with 2 sets of steps. Perhaps your mother was not alone. Perhaps there was a set of steps we just did not see. Just like I walked not alone. Just like she walks not alone. Perhaps you are fated to be here, Tobias. Son of Anna.
I don't know what to say, but this has been enlightening, to say the least. If what you say is true, what do you suggest I do in my pursuit of the truth?
like you. And eventually, just like her.
And he again points towards Astrid, says,
We'll want some justice, for the three of us have all been deceived. That is how I know of your mother, and that is how I can see the trickster following your companion. She is fated and locked to his hand just like I was. Your mother may not have accepted the power, but perhaps he was involved just like the rest.
Tobias clenches his fist. Well, if perhaps Loki or a god of similar ilk were responsible for taking my mother from me, from our tribe, then I will have some thinking to do about how I will how do I put this? I will need to process these emotions.
Yes. Yes, you should. You should use this. Use this to your benefit. Use this for all of our benefits. Do not think it somewhat convenient that he is there around every corner, around every major event, to whisper ill-gotten words into your ears. He has been there from the start. Do not think it convenient that all of you gather around a fallen ally as they speak of the deceiver, of the snake, and now you find yourselves here in the hut in Helheim with another who has been tricked by him. This is power. This is power that I speak of. This is power that can be used against the very one who has tricked all of us.
I see. Very well. You have my attention. How would we distribute justice in this situation? I've never fathomed getting back at a god.
There will be a time. You all have your own fate to follow, and I have mine. I may not know fully what it is or who I am, but I know beyond the gates of Helheim that it awaits me. I know I was a man of power. I had strength before me, and perhaps when restored, that very strength can join you. But that power needs to be gathered first. You will find your way. You just need to help me find mine.
What is your name?
I don't know. That has been lost to me. Just like of who I was and what of my life. It is but fleeting memories. I know that people followed me, and they chanted my name. But I'm not sure who or what.
Then, until we can restore you, assuming that, of course, everything you've told me is true, and I sincerely wish it is, would you like a title or a name?
Perhaps not. It may be best for me to continue as I am. The dead have no use for names.
Well, I don't deny that the dead may not have use for names, but if we're to help you, if you're to help us, if such a situation were to come where we must address you, we can either call you Hermit, or we could default to something perhaps as Skoogie, perhaps Shadow. We will attempt to restore your body and, in that sense, make you whole.
Perhaps. Let me think. On my time, perhaps I will come up with something to best befit the situation. But for now,
Very well.
find yourself with your thoughts, Tobias. Think of your mother. Think of the ones who took her from you.
I'll think quite hard. And if anything comes to me in my dreams, in visions, perhaps you can help me make heads or tails of it.
Yes. If you have visions, I can speak them. Do the others have visions? Do the others see things? Tell me about them. Now that it is just us, those with similar dispositions. Do you trust those you walk with? Who are they to you? Are you sure that they would not just follow the words of the one who has tricked us? What do you know of them?
I can speak for Astrid and Gwyn's loyalty. I would lay down my life for either of them. I am getting to know the other members of the party. As you have said, Gudrun is still a mystery. And I do owe my life, I believe, to Ezekiel now. And Kavak has been a good guide. That's my best assessment, but it seems that, at least in terms of Astrid's attitude towards the Deceiver, she hates him, which isn't exactly wise to do, drawing the ire of Hailhofen's princess. I have hope that we'll be all right.
Good.
And he kind of hastily stands up and goes over to you to put his hands on your shoulders, whether you're standing or you're kneeling. You know, he matches your posture.
Got it.
And puts his hands on your shoulders and unnervingly stares directly at you, directly into your eyes. You know there's nothing there. You can see old blood stains from underneath the bandage. There are no eyes there. He's looking at you. And he says,
Do not trust anyone in this realm. Trust no one outside these walls. Everyone else will use you. Everyone else will try and rip you from your goals. They will try and tear you piece by piece and remove you from your justice. Our justice, Tobias. We can trust each other. All of us. The two of us. We have goals in very similar regards. That snake deserves justice. He follows closely. When we speak of this, we should speak of it of just two of us. I understand you trust those close to you. But there's a reason I waited till they were asleep for us to talk. This stays between us, I would hope.
This will stay between us. It's kind of interesting that I chose to switch worship to Heimdall as the Watcher, because one of his piety goals is discovering and defeating somebody who tricked me. Would I be able to almost form a special bond or contract with this guy? Because if defeating him means like getting justice for him and for Astrid, would Heimdall want to see that happen?
Give me a history. This is going to be a very difficult history. I'm just letting you know right now.
All right.
But I will allow a history, because who knows?
All right. Dice tell stories. Here we go. I mean, that's not bad.
18. Okay.
It's not that high, though.
You're not going to get the full picture here. I'm still going to give you something because you got an 18. If you got anything like below a 17, I would have told you, well, shit, out of luck, buddy.
All right, 18.
Heimdall would definitely, not definitely, Heimdall, knowing the word and the teachings of the Watcher. You are familiar with all the gods. You have study of all the gods. You know each and every one of them. You pray to each and every one of them. You know that, yes, Heimdall would definitely see approval to weeding out one who has tricked you.
Okay.
And that is kind of where it stops, because you are thinking on it. You are realizing you're talking about a god approving of the defeat of a fellow.
Right. All right. I mean, I'll take it. It's an 18. All right. With that said, I think Tobias would. A watch order wasn't really discussed, right? Should we discuss that now, assuming
Everyone
Tobias has watch?
Everyone kind of just went to sleep, so whoever you want to wake next.
Okay. All right.
You do know Kavak is still out there walking around, making sure the perimeter.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think if Kavak's still walking the perimeter, Tobias is gonna walk over to Gwen before he turns in for the night, and he's going to renew the special rude marking, like that's kind of hidden in the makeup on her face, which says in Norse,
"Secrets being revealed.
Forever my body will be your shield." And he will awaken Gudrun next for watch.
Okay. As you go to awake Gudrun, the hermit says,
You deserve a much-needed rest, Tobias. And I am quite intrigued with this one. This will make for a good chat, I think.
Enjoy.
and as you go to wake up Gudrun, I'm going to break everyone's hearts and cliffhang us there.
How dare you?
And I'm going to
You have
say,
time to think of everything till the new
while
year.
It may have been short. I did not want to go for too long without our dear Astrid. And I think stealing some backstory out of Tobias is a good stopping point. What do you all think?
No, I agree. I just, you know, I want more.
You
I'm like Ariel.
Have
I always
more in the new year of 2024. What our next session will be. This is our final session in 2023. So not only YouTube, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Everyone, we're saying goodbye for the last session of the year, so make your goodbye to YouTube worth.
Goodbye, 2023.
Be safe
Bye,
and be calm,
2023 YouTube. See you in 2024.
See you, YouTube, in 2024. As always, good pie. And so help me God, if you're not going to stay sweet in 2024.
I was talking this entire fucking time with my
Well,
mic off.
it's too late. You're being talked over. We're ending the session. The
Goodbye,
recording's over.
2023.
Stop recording.
You and I had a very intimate time together. Goodbye, 2023.
Alright, I let that in because I'm a nice person. But now,
All right, thank you.
goodbye, YouTube. And as I was saying, if you're not going to stay sweet in 2024, then what the fuck are you doing, you degenerate? Goodbye, YouTube. Love you all.